Hello and welcome to another episode of Focus on Tomorrow. Focus on Tomorrow is a non-profit organization located in Chicago, Illinois. You can find us at focusontomorrow.org. You could also email us at focusontomorrow.org. Today, my guest is Uriel. Hi, Uriel.
What's going on, man? Glad to be back. I'm happy to be back.
Yeah.
I'm so excited to be back.
How have you been?
I've been alright. How are you been?
Good. So today we're going to talk about the 15-year-old grandson of the Congressman Danny Davis was shot to death in his Englewood, Illinois home Friday evening. According to Chicago police, Javon Wilson, 15-year-old, was inside his home at 6:45 p.m. when 17-year-old girl and a 15-year-old boy broke in and argued and followed by and shot him in the head.
Oh, damn.
Yeah, and Congressman Davis said, unfortunately, this is another example of 15-year-old, kid getting shot with a gun. Never should have happened. If congressmen letting or losing our kids violation are any safer than that, or what do we do about it?
Personally, man, I mean, are kids safe? I think the best way to keep a kid safe is just, interaction with one another. Getting to know that child and getting to know what situation they're going to. A lot of the times, we say, like, this is happening every day and all these problems shooting is, it's an everyday thing because we live in Chicago. But, a lot of the times, too, what I personally think is, like, we could be safe if we just show kids a different way. You know what I mean? You just show them a different perspective of how to look at things and how to look at life. And I would possibly think that income might stop. I'm not going to say it will stop, but I think it's a chance. You know what I mean? I know for a fact it'll probably be hard to get a lot of the older kids, from like 18 to 21, to get them convinced because they lived their life long enough and they know for a fact that they don't want to do that kind of stuff and they know what they're doing. They're big and bad and they're grown. But I think when it comes to like the high school kids, when it comes to like elementary kids, like high school kids, I personally think that they should really get interactions with like people who are positive with them, you know what I mean, and people who are successful. And like Focus, we get a bunch of kids who come, who's come from bad streets, who come from bad families, who never had the opportunity, the resources to do anything that they liked. And what we do here is like we just basically give them the opportunity to do all kinds of videography. We give them opportunities to open up their minds and basically just to think of other stuff other than just violence. So for the congressman to say that, if everyone is safe, everyone is not safe. It's a dangerous world. We live in a scary world. It's a really, really scary world, and especially being in a city where a lot of violence is occurring, it's kind of hard. It's kind of hard to say if we're all going to be safe. You know what I mean? It's it's almost like a war zone almost. It's really you have to be really hesitant about the things you do sometimes, and the people you hang around with especially.
Yeah. And
that's the thing too. Like, a lot of the times too, what these government officials got to do is, they got to just look at the crowds of people. Look at the gangbangers. Look at the group of kids and just see why they're doing this kind of violence. You know, and just basically try to stay your best attached to them and just open up their minds and elevate them a little higher than usual. And it's really bad that the congressman's son had to get killed. You know what I mean? And God bless his soul. No one wants it on anyone.
And that's a 15-year-old kid we're talking about, and there was a female over there, a girl actually, a 17-year-old girl that got.
Exactly. So it's like youth on youth crime.
And we're talking about a headshot.
Exactly. It's exactly what you're saying. It's a headshot. So it's kind of like a youth on youth crime, man. It's like, you know what I mean? These kids are just so exploited by the stuff they see on the internet, the stuff they see on the streets, and they just get adapted to it. You know what I'm saying? Because honestly, personally, a lot of the times too, the reason is they come from a bad home, right? You come raised bad, but at the same time, it's all up to you too. You know what I mean? I came from a bad home as well. My family wasn't all perfect, but what I did was I realized that this game banging and all this violence that's going on, it has no point to it. It has an end to it. So what I did was, like, moneymaker, right? I guess money is the biggest factor for kids, right? In a way. So I guess you want to do is like you want to find something that you stand for, and that's going to help you out financially, and that's going to help you big in the future. And if as long as something you love, whether you're hooping, whether you're whether you're playing, whether you're recording, or whether you're doing any kind of curricular activity that you want to do within the future, just stick to it.
Yeah.
Mainly just stick to it. Whether you have other jobs, you have other things, like if you have that as a hobby, really, really stick to it and like really, 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 really put your focus onto it. Because once you do that, you'll get distracted by all the other stuff. And once you like focus well enough and you put your attention towards what you want to do, you know, a lot more opportunities are going to open for you. And yeah, that's what I basically think.
Okay. Facebook is taking another step. Rita Hoyks and another follows information. Like they say, Facebook posts every Friday evening. Facebook is facing a fail to cut out float and phony news articles and in a run up as the U.S. presidential election. Facebook has a long instead that is technology company and it's not like a news public reporter or something. And the reject idea that it should be held responsibility for the content that is platform. Do you think Facebook is responsible for Donald Trump election like how he won?
No, man, I wouldn't necessarily say like, you know, I mean, first starting off with like the fake news feeds, that's obvious. I think the thing about like when it comes to social media and it comes to something like Facebook, you are who you click. You are what you see, you are what you like. And people take that from you. Like they rate you like that. They know, like, you know, if you click on so many sports ads or you click on a lot of food ads, you know, and you like it, the feed of Facebook, the timeline of Facebook is going to constantly you feed that kind of stuff because you just like it and you clicked on it and you interacted with it and you viewed it. So do I feel like Facebook has any kind of responsibility for false advertisement? Of course they do, and that's what they were talking about on there. Yeah. And I think that just goes on every day, and I think that's a perfect example of why social media could really ruin people, because we fall so much based on social media. Not only that, but because a lot of kids don't watch the news no more and we don't watch anything on TV, social media, a lot of our updates and a lot of our news that we get around the world, or if we find out anything about the world, it's all through social media. It's all through Facebook. It's all through
kids
Twitter. Kids
staying in their phones.
Yeah, exactly. Kids staying in their phones, doing all that. So it's like a lot of times, a lot of the information that we all get is through social media. That's the only information we get. So a lot of the times when we look at something through social media, something like Facebook, for example, you know, if someone said they did this, then we're gonna believe it because it's on Facebook. You know what I mean? And that's totally not the case. And that's
the
what
media.
The media did that. Of course. That's totally the case. And not only that, but like this. Like the thing about us, we live in a world now where it's just technology based, and it's like we're like in a big metaphor.
We're relying on
our life is like a big metaphor, the joke. You know what I mean? Like we just constantly look at a picture and we look at it. So we look at something, we just laugh because we could understand it. We can all understand each other.
Yeah.
So my thing is like, does Donald Trump have any? Does Facebook have any like responsibility for his election?
Yeah.
I feel like they do have some kind of footfall for their election because I mean, for God's sakes, I mean, they're just throwing constant stuff at us. And it's so funny because, like, I look back at this and it's like we see so many news feeds about Donald Trump throughout the whole election. I don't know about you, but all year in my Facebook and my Twitter, all I seen was memes and memes and memes and memes and skits.
I didn't even want to get on.
Yeah, and skits of nothing but Facebook. Yeah, nothing but Facebook and Donald Trump, like just in your face. So it's like, and they're just constantly throwing that feed in your face and just constantly showing you like all kinds of weird facts and what Donald Trump does and what doesn't he do and what makes him look bad, what makes him look good, what makes him do this and what makes him do that. And it's kind of like all of that was for what? For him to win the election? So it's like, yeah, I mean, I think a lot of the times like we need to look ahead and look in the outer world of real perspective things, you know, because a lot of times the internet could really fool us. I mean, for God's sake, that was my example right there. I mean, for God's sakes, I mean, we all thought all these memes and all these skits and all these trolls on Donald Trump the whole year was a good example of us saying, like, yeah, he has no possible way of losing, right? They're throwing it. He has no possible way of winning. He has no possible way of doing anything. And what happens? He ends up winning. So it's like, no, like, you know what I mean? What we see, what the media portrays, what we don't see in real life, and sometimes we have to look about that, and we have to look ahead of them. We have to really focus ourselves and really know that. We have to separate ourselves from what's real and what's fake. And a lot of the times, you know, it's based off opinions. And a lot of the times it's based off just people just trying to get likes, trying to get views, trying to get attention. And that's what Facebook's about. Facebook's just a platform for people to just express themselves in a way socially and, you know, economically and in any kind of like comedic way. So I believe that's what Facebook does. And would I blame social media for him? I wouldn't necessarily. I mean, half and half. I could say yeah, but no. But I mean, yeah, I mean, I believe like with all these memes and all these shows, and yeah, I would say social media has to take a real big part, especially within this election that happened this year. So I think social media took a really big part. This was like the first time I ever seen social media really dominant within like the elections, within like the election year. So Mark Zuckerberg needs to really, really get off those fake feeds and see what's legit and what's not legit.
We're actually gonna get into technology afterwards, but
Oh,
first
right.
we're gonna talk about the Oculus virtual reality event in October.
Okay.
Facebook founder Mark Zuckerberg,
Zuckerberg?
my
Yeah.
bad, demonstrated a way people might use communication in the future. And
wow.
wearing a headset, robots, all that type of stuff. The avatars could change our facial expression, make generous events and card. What do you think about that?
So he basically created like a virtual avatar that you could do and you can interact with people, right? Is that what
Yeah.
you're saying? What I think about that, I think it's pretty funny. I think it's pretty funny, and I think it's a step of really improving the human lifestyle and how to interact with each other.
Uh-huh.
I mean, me personally, I know for a fact technology is only gonna get crazier. Technology is only gonna possibly get better. Maybe we don't know. I'm not too sure. I'm not a witness and I've never really been doing it, but. I mean, for him to do that, I think it was kind of genius of him. I mean, the thing about us in social media, we're always looking for the next big thing, right?
Yeah.
We're always looking for something we could possibly do. I mean, for God's sakes, I mean, if you look at Facebook and Twitter from how it was 3 years ago to now, it's a lot different, right? Like
Yeah.
you see, you could do a lot more posts now. You could check out a lot more videos.
There's even kids, like 2 years old kids, who has like iPods and iPhones, and they don't even know how to use it. They still have it,
Exactly.
I mean, technology has gone to another level.
Exactly.
But-
Technology is on a crazier level now. Technology is on a level where people can understand it now.
Yeah.
People can understand it easier now. Before, I remember technology where people was really confusing. It was really highly expensive, and people thought you were just a geek. Now, like you said, a child who's like 5 years old, 4 years old, or a grandma of 100 and some years old could actually go on an iPad and actually go on the internet and know what she's doing, and they're not confused about it.
Yeah.
So, like, to use virtual reality, it's kind of scary in a way, though, too. Like, like interacting like that virtually, like. I don't know what's the next big step after we interact virtually. You know what I'm saying? Like, what happens after that? Do we time travel from there now? Like, do we try and travel from like one TV to the next? So it's like, I mean, in the same way, I just thought it was pretty genius. I mean, I think it's a good idea. It's a step of finding new ways of socializing with people and more creative, fun ways of just having fun with social media and using it to your nature.
All right. We could move on to the Prudhoe Spirit of Community Award.
Okay.
Is the largest program in recognized middle high schools. Students are volunteering from local national levels, and the national winner is going to be announced in February, but the Illinois 10 top volunteers winning Nicholas Ram Kumar.
Mm-hmm.
Sorry about if I'm pronouncing that wrong. An 8th grader at a University of Illinois high school has raised nearly $10,000 for laptops and computers.
Oh, wow.
Yeah. Do you think the youth has more generous than we think we could give them the credit for?
Yes, I totally agree 100% that the youth is more generous than people really think. I mean, because why? I mean, I don't know. When it comes to youth, when we do any kind of education or we do any kind of school, what school does for us, it helps us think critically.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? It helps us open our mind. That's what school does. School gives you a test, and you're forced to
step by step.
Yeah, you go step by step,
yeah.
and you're just forced to open up your mind, and you're forced to think critically. You know what I mean? You're forced to see what's the outcome, what's the effect, why they did that. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
What's right from wrong, why they should do this, why they should do that, what's beneficial for the world, what's beneficial for the community. So it's like starting off with that with the youth, especially now. We think critically, and not only that, but like going back to the last question, we live in a world where it's just social media based and technology based. So also everything's easier, and not only that, but like, I mean, we're ahead of everyone. Us youth, we pick up things way more faster than everyone. We have an idea where if we have an idea, we just stick to it and we'll do it, and that's what's really crazy about the youth this year. I mean, the youth is just, we're so ahead of people, and like a lot of times they get so confused and people get so surprised that we're doing these kinds of things, and we know how to do certain situations, and we know how to work certain computers, certain phones, and our parents don't,
Yeah.
And right there, it just gives us an opportunity to just think critically. You know what I
Yeah.
mean? Think critically, know what's right from wrong. And him raising $10,000 for a school is genius. I think it's really, really genius. I don't know how he did it. I want to know how he did it, because I would love to raise $10,000 for something that I would do. But That's just right
Especially
there.
for 8th graders. You know?
Yeah, of course, especially
Yeah.
for 8th grade. But right there, he tells you like, you know, you're able to make an impact at any age, and you're able to make an impact no matter what, no matter where you're from, and no matter what you're trying to do, whether it's trying to fundraise, whether it's trying to really like, you know, get your mind going. I think personally, it was great. I mean, what do you think about it? What do you think about him raising 10,000? Consider you go to school still, right? You're still in high school.
Yeah.
So I mean, what do you think? Do you think that like affects other youth? Do you think that really like that affects you in a way? Like how do you think that affects
yeah. Actually, you know, I have a story to tell. But what's it called? Like, a student walks into a class and don't have a laptop or a computer with the other students having laptops and computers.
Right.
And him not, you know, learning the experience like the other students are. So it's going to be a bad, you know, environment for him and further, you know.
Right.
So, yeah, that's what I think.
You would think that then?
Yeah.
So like I would. Yeah. So I think we're really generous. You know. At the
But
same time,
do you think form of communication will affect humans interact with another human being?
what do you mean by like technology-wise?
By technology-wise.
Is that going back to the last question or
Yeah.
going back to the first question?
Let's go
Going
back
to this question.
Last question.
The last question that
Yeah.
we're doing about Mark Zuckerberg and social media.
Yeah.
And how it was. Yeah, and maybe I could kind of say that it will affect, you know, how everyone connects, you know, interactively, because you know before it's much easier meeting someone in person. It's really different meeting someone in person than what you're doing like on the phone, right? Or what you're doing when you're doing Skype or like when you're doing anything like that. So how do I think it will probably affect the generation? I mean, would it affect the human? I mean, in a way, maybe if we I think if we go overboard for this and we just trying to find easier ways for people to, you know, communicate with each other. Like I said, I guess we're gonna start time traveling and we're gonna start doing something. But I think if that ever happens, I think.
Like travel in a spaceship?
Yeah, like aliens or something, right?
Yeah, those conspiracy
it was
theories.
something like that. Yeah, it was
Yeah.
something like that. But it's like I don't know, man. I think it really can. I think it really could, but honestly, I think it's just to each his own. I think it all depends how people really react to it, and that's why I think people should go to school for this type of stuff, and people should really learn how social media works and how it's based, especially because we live around it so much. I truly believe that everyone should know how social media really works, no matter what. Whether if you don't have a Facebook or anything like that, but just everything we do, man, from the Google searches, from every little cooking video that we do, and it's like. That's fun. So, like, to change the way how to interact with people.
Yeah, Google has so much information.
Yeah, like, Google has so much information off us already. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, people already, like, there are people already knowing about everything we Google search. And people already know about
every answer on Google.
Everyone's looking at that. You know what I mean? So, it's like, for you to, like, find a better way for us to interact, it could be a hit or miss, man. It could be a hit or miss. You know what I mean? Because now it could be, like, kids don't even want to meet with each other no more. You know what I mean? Like, what's going to happen when we get a job interviews or we have opportunities to meet someone, like a young lady, or you know, just being face to face, like in reality with someone is just going to work way better than just like, you know, virtually talk to them. You know, maybe you're right there with them. Maybe it's going to all work out, but at the same time, it might not work. It might be bad, man. It might just turn out to be crazy, because no one in the human world is ever going to interact anymore. You know, we're not going to go back to the times no more where we're standing next to each other and we're communicating with each other. You know, pretty soon we're going to start eating in different places now, you know, in the same location, and it's not the same as you going there and interacting with people. So maybe they take it down a notch and not make it too crazy. Like, if they just make it like, they make it all right. Like, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
I don't know. I mean, how old are you? You're 18, right?
No, I'm about to turn 18
You're
next
about
month.
to turn 18 next month. So, like, do you think social media has changed for you? I mean, you're 18.
It has,
like, have you seen it? Have you seen it progress? And do you think like the way you use so like technology and social media changes the way you interact with like kids?
Yeah, that's true. What's it called? Improvise a lot of technology, like calling others. Because back then, you know, it was really hard to call others, especially in like the 90s. If I talk, but I wasn't really born in the 90s. I don't know, but I know that technology has been like really crazy. To another level where, like, you know, now you could do anything with the technology. Any answer, you could like cheat on your math test and, you know, get an answer off of technology. You know, you could contact anyone. There's a lot of things you do with technology. Yeah.
Exactly. So, like, that's your answer right there. So it tells you, like, you know what I'm saying? Like, look how fast the world is just moving. That's what's scary, man. Just like, I just really want the world to just slow down sometimes, man. I feel like it just moves so fast.
Yeah, time goes fast.
We're always looking for the next thing, man. That's the thing. Like iPhones, for God's sakes, people are probably still enjoying their iPhone 5s. You know what I mean? Still trying to find out. We're already at 7. So it's like,
and there's like 8 coming out.
Exactly, there's like 8 more coming out. So it's like, dude, like, it don't even give it a chance for people to enjoy stuff, because we're just trying to move so fast, and we're always looking for the next big thing. You know, we look at something, we find something, we create something, and then we enjoy it, right, for like a little bit amount of time, and we just use it up and use it up and use it up. We just eat it up until it's like, so we're done with it, and it happens so fast. And what happens? We just use it up and we just throw it out. All right, what's the next one? I'm bored. you know. So it's like, I don't know, man. Like honestly, like we should just. I think when it comes to technology in the world, we should just really try to slow it down just a little bit, just so people can catch up and people can understand like what's going on. You know. I think that's just about it.
So let's zoom back to our old questions about 10,000 laptops and computers. And the question was, why is it important to volunteering for kids to go over there?
I think it's good for kids to go over there because, I mean, it just gives them an opportunity to just, you know, it gives them an opportunity to engage in themselves and to have more resources that they don't have. And that's one thing that, you know, that's a problem, you know, especially for a lot of rural neighborhoods and kids who, you know, do bad things. You know, the thing is, like, we don't have the resources, man. You go to a suburban school, in the suburbs, they have everything. They have laptops. They have all the coaches for basketball. They have all the coaches for football. They have an awesome lunch. They have the great books. They have a great staff of teachers and students that were just going to take care of you, and they're just going to give you the right programs and give you the right things to make sure you succeed. Whereas in a lot of other schools, you know, a lot of public schools, of course, you know, we all live in rural neighborhoods, you know, where it's really bad. So because of that, you know, a lot of schools are not funded. You know what I mean? We don't have the fund. We don't have the kind of funds, and we don't have the kind of money that these other rich schools have. So what happens? We lack resources. And what happens when we lack resources? We end up doing we end up getting attached to the resources that are outside.
All right. I have a yes or no question for you. Have you ever volunteered?
Yes, I have volunteered, man. This Focus on Tomorrow is actually the first thing that I volunteered for. Like I said, Focus on Tomorrow, what it was basically just a high school program that works with kids and lets them, you know, create their own content, video content. But before, you know, all this after school matters and all you kids were getting paid, we were just a program that just started with no pay. You know, we were just a program that students would just go on their own every Saturday morning with no pay, no transportation money. We would go and we would work. And
all right, let's get into Chicago Bulls.
The Chicago Bulls?
Yeah, the Chicago Bulls are in 5th place in the Eastern Conference. Do you think the team is performing better and expected to be better in this season?
Yes. I truly believe that the Bulls are going to be great. We are going to win a championship this year. And I'm just saying that because I'm just a hardcore Bulls fan. I mean, realistically, it's going to be hard, of course. You know, realistically, if you think basketball-wise, there's a lot of good competition out there. But me, I'm a Bulls fan, so yes, man.
What does the team have to do?
I think we're gonna do
great. What does
great.
the team have to do to catch up with the Cavaliers?
The keys that they got to catch up with the Cavaliers. Yeah, Cavaliers is number 1 team right now. Best thing is, man, they need body. They need body, and they need people who are gonna score, man. You see, right now the Bulls are doing good, and the reason why they're doing good is because we have that consistency in scoring now, we never had before. You know what I'm saying? We never had that kind of consistency ever. I never seen that kind of scoring before in Bulls. Maybe I had before, of course, but I mean, this kind of scoring alone, like within the first half, how we're averaging almost 30 points, 40 points within the half, it's amazing because we had that struggle for so long where we couldn't find anyone who could just consistently score for us. And there are a lot of times when we're on the half court, you know, the Bulls struggled. We struggled. We couldn't score. We were just stuck in the half court, and we were just stuck there. You know, Rose, of course, he had Noah, who wasn't offensively, you know, gifted at all, but he had a great heart, which I love him and I miss him so much. You know, I miss him so much, and he was oh man, I was a little broken when he left. But overall, it wasn't personal. It was a basketball decision. So of course they had to make some moves to win a ring, right? Well, we all want to get wins. So, and how you win is just basically, man, by heart. We have the heart. And the thing is, like, now that we have the kind of scoring that we have now, you know, we're scoring on a consistent basis. You know, we have veteran talent, as in Rajon Rondo. We have Dwayne Wade. You know, we have that kind of veteran talent where they've been here before and they know what it takes to win and they know what it takes to exceed. So you mix that up with a youthful team who's really good in offense, you know, who could really pass the ball around. Not only that, you mix that with Jimmy Butler, who is, you know, the best player in the NBA right now, in my perspective. You know, who is the best player in the NBA right now. You mix that up with the championship people.
I still like Rose.
Yeah, I like Rose too, man.
I'm not pointing fingers, but is Chicago happy that Bulls are are better than Knicks?
I think that's kind of childish to ask that kind of like question if the Bulls are better. I personally don't think anyone cares. I think what the Knicks are doing on their own is on their own, you know, and that's them. But I mean, overall, yeah, I guess I can say I'm happy the Bulls are doing better than the Knicks. But at the same time, I don't care. The Knicks are the Knicks. They're gonna do them. I'm focused on the Bulls, and that's all.
Any last thing you would like to say?
Yeah, stay happy, world. Happy Monday. Have a great Thanksgiving, and yeah, prosper.
All right. Focus on Tomorrow is a nonprofit organization located in Chicago, Illinois. And you could also contact us at focusontomorrow.org. You could also email us at focusontomorrow.org. I would like to thank my guest, Uriel, for
Thank
joining
you guys.
today.
Thank you for having me. I appreciate it.
We'll see you guys next time.